Have you looked at job postings for seeking sellers lately? The job requirements are vast. The expectations are high across so many dimensions. Who is that mythical seller anyway, and how do you find them? I once heard a sales manager say he only hired closers, top sellers who could do it all and, most importantly, close deals. He determined this by having potential hires go through a character profiling test run by a third party. If the seller checked all the boxes, they, obviously, had no flaws and would get hired. They would far exceed their quota, and everyone would live happily ever after, right? The idea of an unflawed person is, of course, absurd. It implies the world and people are unchanging, that what worked in the past will always work in the future. There's a deep-seated belief in traditional sales management that sales skills are fixed, and that what worked in the past still works today and will still work in the future. It's a fantasy, a fairy tale, a myth. Traditionally, it was thought that a sales manager need only put an ad in the newspaper. Yes, I'm referring to traditional print media, with the criterion only closers need apply, which then garnered resumes from hundreds of top sellers who could, when hired, be assigned a territory, left alone, and magically meet revenue targets with nothing but a clap on the back. The sales manager's only responsibilities were to hire talent with the chops to make their quotas and fire them if they failed. Sellers were put in a sales territory with some knowledge of the product, but minimal to no training or coaching on how to sell it to customers. Since they were unflawed, the sellers, of course, needed no development. And since skills were fixed, if the seller didn't have them, well, they'd never learn. There are many downsides to this traditional approach, one of which is that it often deters non-traditional candidates from applying for a job. It makes it more expensive to find good candidates and disenfranchises the current team in place when they read it, and they will, if they believe they're not good enough for you or you're not working hard enough on their behalf to get more help on the team. Even many executives believe that the role of a sales manager is to hire sellers, give them a territory, and hope they work out. If they don't, fire them. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The sales manager finds another seller and repeats the process. Unfortunately, hope is not a strategy for success. As we've seen, enterprise sales managers must have an updated and updating skill set. Actually, managing and supporting the success of sellers is critical, especially in a world where talent is scarce. Sellers today expect their managers to understand them and know them, have empathy, and provide coaching and guidance when needed. They expect sales managers to remove roadblocks and sales friction and empower their success. Companies demand that sales managers have the skills necessary to build a high-performing team, deliver on revenue and quota expectations, and create a sustainable and predictable sales model. However, as is often the case, while companies' expectations are high, their focus on developing sales managers to have the right skills is low to non-existent. It is rare indeed to find a company that focuses on empathetic leadership skills, building trust, and tapping into your team's motivations as an approach to creating high-performance teams. Sales managers are then left to figure out their own skill development by reading books or, more typically, listening to audiobooks, podcasts, or getting tips from others. Managers who are promoted from within the work group have an extra responsibility to build trust, especially if multiple team members were applicants.